Hello there, Year 3s, it's Mr. B here with a new music project which we will be starting in our lesson today. We're going to be learning about body percussion and how we can use only our bodies to act like a drum kit and create some beats which we can put to music. So we've already done a few little bits of things like this in class before, often for starters and warm-ups and things like that when we've been doing djembe lessons or when you've been doing ukulele lessons and things. But we're going to spend a bit longer looking at how we can create the different sounds and learning some different rhythms, some different patterns, and getting some different challenges in for you as well. Okay, so let's get started. I think the first thing I want you to do is just think back to when we played the djembes in class. Think about the different notes that we can make. So the bass, remember the big bass note in the middle, and then the tone and the slap on the sides. And then we've also, which we'll come on to in another lesson, but we've also used shakers, haven't we, in class before, and we'll look in tambourines and things like that. But mainly today, just focusing on the djembes, on the bass, the tone, and the slap. The first thing I want you to do is have a think, and a little bit of an experiment and a try it out, is have a think about how you can recreate those three sounds, the bass, the tone, and the slap, only using your bodies. Okay, there's no right or wrong way of doing it. There are a variety of different ways of making some of those notes. But what I want you to do is just pause the video in a second and spend 2 or 3 minutes just trying to play different bits of your bodies in different ways. Be careful, I don't want you to hit yourself in the face and hurt yourself, obviously, okay? But try and experiment to find some different sounds and really think, how do you make that low, deep, bassy sound of the bass? How do we get that really snappy crack of the slap and that kind of tone that's somewhere in between as well, okay? So you can pause the video now, have an experiment, and when you think you've found a couple of ways of playing each of the three notes, then you can unpause the video and we'll see if you came up with the same ones as me or if we found different ways to each other. Okay, off you go now. Alright then, so what did you come up with? Let's have a look. Now, I can't see what you've come up with, you can't tell me at the moment, but I'm going to show you the way that I'm going to make them today. And it's up to you. If you've got your own ways that work just as well, feel free to use those, or feel free to use mine, or mix and match. Okay, there's no right or wrong way of doing this. Okay, for the bass, in class before, if you remember, we've often stamped our feet. Okay, now we're not going to do that for 2 reasons today, although you can on some of the rhythms. Firstly, I'm sitting down, and I don't know quite how much of this you can see, but you can probably see like my chest and upwards. You definitely can't see my feet, so I'm not going to stamp my feet for the bass purely because you can't see them. But if you're standing up somewhere and you want to use stamping your feet for the bass, that is absolutely fantastic. It's going to work well. If not, and the way I'm going to use it is I'm going to use my hand, and to create the bass sound, if you think about the bass drums as being the really big ones, we've got the big bass djembes, I'm going to use the biggest part of me, okay, which is my body, the middle section of me, okay? And depending quite where I hit my body makes a slightly different sound, but I'm going to be trying to find somewhere right in the middle of my chest, the biggest part of me, okay? And hopefully, if I do that, it will create a similar idea to the bass. Shall we have a listen? Yeah? Okay, so see if you can join in with me, doing the bass and just maybe playing the school clap rhythm, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, sing. Can you see how I'm using 2 hands for the coffee? So it's 1, 2, coffee. Okay, I'm using 2 hands just to make it a little bit easier, and that's going to be really important later in the lesson. Okay, 2, 3, 4, and we'll stop there. All right, so that is our bass sorted. moving on to the tone then. I wonder what ideas you came up with. You can maybe play parts of your legs, you could play on the side of your hips, you could play anywhere really that makes a slightly different sound. I'm going to use a clap, okay? Makes a really good approximation of the tone sound, or like the snare sound from a drum kit. And again, there's two different ways you can do this. Bearing in mind we're playing the bass like this. If you want, you can keep your hand here and you can use the back of your hand to kind of clap to make the tone sound like this. So bass, tone. Okay. If you prefer, and I'm going to do it just this way because it's a bit more comfortable, you can just cup your hand like this and just clap like that, okay? The main thing to get a really good sound is to just slightly cup your hands. Don't have them straight out. Just have them slightly bent, not too far, and just relax them like that. If your hands are really tense and tight, it'll make quite a quiet sound and it won't really reverberate, it won't go on for very long. If your hands are really straight, it won't make much of a sound, okay? Just have them slightly cupped, because when you clap, it's the air in between them squeezing out the sound side that makes that really good tone sound, or the clap, okay? And then the last one, I think for you today, is going to be the trickiest, and that is the slap. And again, I want a really high-pitched clap. It needs to be higher pitched than the tone, okay? So I can't just clap, I need that snappy sound, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click my fingers. And I can imagine some of you are looking horrified right now as you try this and realise that you can't click your fingers. Okay, I'm much better at it with my right hand than my left hand. I'm much better if I click these fingers. If I try and click those together, it doesn't work. If I try and click those together, it works a bit, but not that well. But if I use those two, it works better for some reason. Okay, maybe that finger's a little bit stronger for making the sound. Okay, if you can click your fingers, super, join in and we'll use that as our snap. If you can't, for any reason, maybe find an alternative way of making the snap. Now, you probably can't see my knees, but you could tap on your knees, okay? And that would get a very similar sound as well, somewhere where you can get that nice kind of high-pitched crack sound, okay? So, they are our three sounds for the bass, the tone, and the slap. But let's learn a few rhythms, okay? So I've made a little backing track on GarageBand. I'm going to teach you 3 different rhythms, and then we'll have a go at playing each one along to the backing track, okay? So the first one is going to be T, 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 coffee, which you can see hopefully on the screen here. So it's T, 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 coffee, but we're going to go bass, tone, bass, tone, tone, bass, tone, bass, tone, tone, okay? So, and the thing that makes this tricky, and I'm really moving you on a little bit than the sort of rhythms we've done in class, is by using the coffee at the end, the 2 tones at the end, it's going to make it much harder when you go back to restart. Remember, we don't have the luxury of a T and then waiting for the beat 1 to come, because it's coffee and then straight in to beat 1, okay? So I'm going to play a backing track. It's going to set us a little beat. I'm going to count you in, and then we're going to have a go at playing that rhythm together. We're going to do it 8 times, and then finish with one last bass note at the end, okay? Are you ready? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Coffee. Coffee, good. So keep that going. Try and keep a good steady rhythm. And then get ready to finish after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and hopefully you got that big bass at the end just to round things off. Like we said, remember that last bass is like the full stop at the end of our sentence that says that rhythm is done, and we did it really well. It rounds it all off, doesn't it? Okay, well done if you managed to join in with rhythm number 1. Okay, rhythm number 2 then. We're going to step it up. Each rhythm's going to get a little bit more tricky. So, rhythm number 2, we've got bass again to kick us off on beat number 1. Then on beat 2, we've got a lemonade note. Do you remember we've got a bass lemonade? Okay, it's kind of like Coca-Cola where we have 4, but we only play on the first 3. So it's lemonade and then a tiny little rest. We're going to play that on the snap. So I can't click my finger fast enough to do lemonade. So I'm going to use both hands, lemonade. Okay, lemonade, lemonade. Now for you guys, if you're clicking your fingers, that's great. If you use your knees, again, use different hands. Lemonade, 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 lemonade. Okay? Because otherwise you're not going to be able to do it fast enough with one hand. And it's just good to get into the habit of using 2 hands as well. Okay? Then we've got a coffee for the bass and a T on the tone on a clap at the end. Okay? So let's see if we can play this one along with the backing track. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lemonade, coffee, tea. Lemonade, coffee, tea. Good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and full stop at the end. Okay, very, very well done if you managed to keep up with us there. I know it's tricky, it's fairly fast as well. I maybe could have made the backing track a little bit slower to help you out, but it's good fun to push ourselves, isn't it? And have that challenge with it being a bit fast as well. Okay, so on to the last rhythm, which I think is the hardest of all. Okay, rhythm number 3. As you can see, we're going to start with a Coca-Cola. So remember, that's like notes half the length, so like twice as fast as a coffee. So Coca-Cola. Okay, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. Okay, so just one Coca-Cola, and it's on the bass. And that's why I said earlier, it's really important that we use 2 hands, because you can't do it fast enough with one, unless you've got the fastest hands ever. Okay, you need 2 hands. Also, I said you might not be able to use the stamp because you were, if you were sitting down or something, you need to stand up. It's going to be too fast. If you can stamp this fast, I'm going to be amazed that you can stamp a Coca-Cola without falling over. I think if I tried it, I would probably end up on the floor from trying to stamp too fast. Okay, so up to you if you want to have a go, but if not, just use your chest for the bass. The tricky bit then is that straight after the Coca-Cola, straight after the fast notes, we go into a rest. And it's really important we remember to stop. So Coca-Cola, rest. Do something else with your hand. We've talked in class, haven't we? Play an imaginary djembe. Do something else on the rest so that you don't play that extra note, because you'll be so tempted to go Coca-Cola and then play a T or something afterwards. Okay? Then you've got lemonade, all on the bass, and a coffee. So all the way through, Coca-Cola, rest, lemonade, coffee, Coca-Cola, rest, lemonade, coffee, Coca-Cola, rest. Okay, you can join in if you want. Coca-Cola, rest, lemonade, coffee, Coca-Cola, rest, lemonade, coffee. Okay, one more time. So really quite fast as well. Okay, so let's have a quick go with the backing track. Are you ready? 2, 3, 4. Coca-Cola, rest, lemonade, coffee. Coca-Cola, rest, lemonade, coffee. Good. Coca-Cola, rest, lemonade, coffee. Get ready to end. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, very, very well done if you managed to keep up with that one, which was without a doubt the hardest challenge. And particularly if you kept up, you managed to stay in time. You managed to not end up looking like an octopus with arms and legs going everywhere. I think I probably looked a little bit like an octopus there. And if you remembered the full stop, the last bass at the end. Okay, so well done. They are the 3 rhythms for today. I think to finish off, I think we're going to have a little extra challenge. Okay, I'm going to play this backing track, and it just loops itself. So at the end, it will go back to the kind of introduction bit where we count in, and it will play again. So what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly this again, but we're going to do rhythm 1, and then straight into rhythm 2, and then straight into rhythm 3 without stopping to kind of explain the rhythms and things. So I'll always count you back in, but we're just going to keep going on a loop until we've done each rhythm 8 times and finished off, okay? Now, I would love to see how you are getting on with this. So if you have another device that you're not watching it on, maybe mums and dads have got a phone, or you've got a Kindle or another tablet or whatever in the house, then ask them if they can video you. Get a little video of you doing your body percussion along to this, and then if you post it onto Microsoft Teams, or you get your parents to tweet it and tag at Norbridge Music, it means I can see you having a good time and joining in with what we're doing. Okay, so pause the video obviously if you need to nip and borrow somebody from in your house to video you, and then you can unpause whenever you're ready to start. But we're going to start now with rhythm number 1. Okay, are you ready? Are you sure you're ready for this challenge? Let's go then. 1, 2, 3, 4. So level 1. Get ready to finish. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, straight away get ready for level 2 because it's about to come up. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So tea, lemonade, coffee, tea. Lemonade, good. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic, and then get yourselves really ready for level 3 to finish us off. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. For the rest. Lemonade, coffee, Coca-Cola, rest. Lemonade, coffee, good. Get ready, last time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay then, year 3's super job. If you manage to do a level 1, level 2 and level 3 of that little challenge and complete them all, it reminded me of like those games you play, you know, where you do like a Sonic run, or there's a Mario Dash where you run and you've got to kind of trying to keep going, and it gets faster and faster and there's more obstacles in the way. It seemed to get more and more difficult, particularly because I was trying to talk to you and stop the backing track and everything all at the same time. I definitely got out of time a couple of times, a little bit then. Very well done if you managed to get from the start to the end. If you lost time in the middle or had to stop and rejoin in, it is not a problem at all. Well done for having a go, and I'm sure that if we keep trying this body percussion, we'll develop our coordination more, we'll develop our rhythms more, and we will end up turning into super fantastic musicians like I know you guys are. So I'd love to see your work. Remember to send a picture or a video onto Microsoft Teams, or you can tweet it like I said before, and as long as you tag at Norbridge Music in, it will get to me and I will see it. Okay, other than that, that is it for today. Thank you for joining, and I will see you again for another lesson next week. Okay, goodbye.